You can calculate what will be the next peak based on that, at least 150,000. So I'm pretty sure of it.
And that's in what year?
Middle of 2025.
And what happens in 10 years?
Everybody wants to know when it is a million, right? So let me tell you that it will be 1 million in 2033. So July of 2033.
Now, I'm generally kind of skeptical, and I think to myself, but Giovanni, couldn't you draw a line through just about any set of data points? Like if you mapped out gold or the stock market and you drew it on a log-log scale, wouldn't you be able to draw a line straight through that and find some kind of pattern? Turns out, you can't, and he ran the numbers. Here's gold, for example, over a 35-year period on a log-log scale. You can't draw a line through it in any linear kind of way that shows a pattern because there is no power law in time here. Also, here's the S&P 500 over a 70-year period. You almost can if you don't start from the beginning, and that might be a function of leaving the gold standard and inflation. But here's the crazy part that I left out. All the lines that you saw drawn on all these graphs were not drawn by human hands. Giovanni doesn't look at these graphs and thinks, there's a pattern here, I think I'll draw a line through it. All the lines that were drawn as functions of mathematical formulas that are way over my head, but Giovanni did show me that there's a way to measure the accuracy of these models based on something called regression, which is the R-squared number. Now, in Bitcoin's case, for this model, it's 0.953. In layman's terms, that translates to 95.3% accuracy when applying all this data to its regression. In other words, its past 15-year history. And no other asset even comes close to that.
We are dealing, if this hypothesis that we are dealing with a power law is true, is not another formula. It's something very intrinsic to the system that it's almost like a fingerprint for the system. And the system will continue to do that in the future. In fact, as it grows, it should be even more stable. It's more difficult to change it. It's such a big network that it cannot be gamed.
Again, not a precise prediction, more of a ballpark number. But you can think about this kind of stuff more like predicting the climate. See, weather patterns are really hard to tell because they fluctuate day to day. But the climate is that long-term trend that we can predict. And that's sort of what these models are doing, and if Bitcoin continues to follow the power law like it has been for the last 15 years, then all of this should theoretically be accurate. But the question is, will this actually happen?